Do you know how hard it is to make a YouTube video when it's like almost 7 in the morning? I didn't sleep at all last night. I literally stayed up that entire night and I haven't slept since last night. I woke up at 3 o'clock yesterday and then I stayed awake until today, like right now. It's not as impressive as it would be. It's not even impressive in the first place. I shouldn't really be making a YouTube video because the quality is going to come off as really bad, but it's what I'm doing anyway. I have no script. I've been downstairs playing frickin' Fortnite and Fallout Shelter, Super Mario Odyssey and stuff. And I thought I'd make a video because it's going to be kind of humorous to see how someone acts whenever they're sleep deprived. I need to catch up on sleep. I still have like a full 24 hours of sleep I haven't caught up on. But I just don't care. Alright, let's check our Twitter. Let's see what's going on in Twitter. This video is like not gonna be edited at all either. Cause I don't have the time. Oh yeah, this Wi-Fi wasn't working for some reason. So I was watching YouTube videos and then that Wi-Fi shut off. And I was like, So then I just kind of laid down and imagined what an animated series with my character Jake would be like. And I've already made a bit of a story for him. And I guess I can explain some of it here while I'm waiting for Twitter to load. Basically, his story starts out when this guy named Griffin, who, well, I have to explain more than that to explain everything. Let me just talk a little bit. So basically, there's this series me and my cousin do, where it's just us role-playing. And sorry for the pauses, I'm really tired. Basically, we role-play, and we have this entire universe that we've literally made over like 8 years. So like, we've been working on this series for 8 years. It's pretty amazing. But I freaking stop. What happened basically is I got a notification. There was this entire universe, and it kind of started out throughout the Earth exploding. The Earth, it's a long story. Well, it kind of didn't explode at first, because humanity already abandoned it, and then it was destroyed by some evil mage guy. You guys probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but I'm going to sum it up real quick. So there was this evil mage guy who hated everything, so he just destroyed the Earth, because that's where the max amount of human popularity, the population was. I can't talk, of course, it's 7. But, like, before that, there had been a disease that had made a bunch of people leave the Earth. And then there were a couple people that stayed behind. Some went to an alternate universe, which is another storyline that I don't even know what I'm doing with that one. And some people left the planet. Some people just tried to survive on there, which is like a zombie apocalypse world. And some guy comes and blows up Earth because there's a lot of humans on there and he's evil. I don't know who it is, but then, like, a couple of years later, this is like 5,040 something, this team, which I don't have a name for, whenever we roleplayed, we called them the Super Smash Brothers, And we had Mega Man, and Zero, Mega Man X actually, and Zero as like the main guys who were doing it. Oh no, it doesn't sound right. They were kind of like own this team called the Smash Brothers, and it was like freaking, oh hey, let's go save people, woo! And it didn't really match the characters. They were what the frick? But it didn't really match with their personalities. But it didn't matter because we were really young. And we had this team called the Super Smash Brothers. It had like a bunch of other characters. Like there was this guy named Snake Eye. I believe he was from a game. Snakebite was from a game. We had Tails and Sonic. Of course, we love that franchise. That was really all we had. And there were a couple other guys. Probably all from video games, though. We had Black Bowser, actually. He was just... I believe he's actually in a game. Like, I believe we got him from a game. Black Bowser. Did I have a speech impediment? Yeah. This guy. This guy right here. Wait, he's in Color Splash? Wait, is he from Color Splash? If so, then we predicted the future. Because I think he just found this character somewhere and used it. Is this seriously only in Color Splash? Oh no, it's in this game too. Yeah. But my friend, my cousin, he found that character. He was one of the main characters. He was actually one of the main villains. But we had this team. We needed a main villain to do it. And we wanted it to be a mage. But later we decided that it wasn't... it wasn't the mage that destroyed the Earth, because that didn't make much sense when we looked at it later. But basically, the mage was this guy, Genesis from Final Fantasy, because my cousin was obsessed with things like Final Fantasy, Blue Dragon, Soul something. Dang it, I used to love this. Star Ocean. But basically, he had this big sword. He had this, but we still use him as a character simply because the way we edited him, it was so different that he could be looked at as his own character. He still had a giant sword, but he had shorter hair. He had a different outfit. The Black Wing was still a thing. We might have to change that, but still, Final Fantasy is pretty freaking epic. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that this was the main villain, and he basically fought. He fought all these guys. Mega Man, Snakebite, all those hero guys, and they defeated him. And then we had some sort of convoluted storyline where the people from Mega Man... Oh yeah, I remember. We did this. They eventually defeated Genesis after like a giant battle, and then freaking... I don't know, actually... Yeah, they defeated Genesis, and then there was some confusion as to what we should do next. So we kind of just made everything settle down. We actually had Black Zero, which I don't think is a thing. Oh, he might be. Yeah, it was this guy. I think I remember that guy. We had Black Zero, and then we had Gold Zero, which I don't think is canon. Yeah, of course not. But they were both just kind of these guys, and they fought as well. They were opponents to Mega Man and everyone. They were actually in the team, but then they were villains, but then they weren't. But that doesn't matter. I'm really off track here. This video is not going to make much sense. I don't know how long it's going to be going on. It's not going to be edited. But then we did a thing where everything just kind of settled down. Black Bowser became a villain. He like went crazy with power, got really big. I actually remember this, and I don't know if this was what he was thinking, because we only had our own thoughts of what to do. We didn't have any pictures or anything of what we were doing. Now we can kind of draw them. But there was a point where I completely imagined freaking Black Bowser as, like, I can't show it here, I can't find it. Wow, that looks crazy. But basically, you see these black particle things. If you guys don't know, there's these guys right here. These particles, I imagine Black Bowser was made of those. And he got angry, he had red eyes, he just got bigger. And then he tried to destroy this planet called Tapioca, which was completely original. I think so. I hope so. But then when he actually destroyed that planet, it came back later. It was a little bit of a subplot, but then everything went to normal. And then later, like, I think a month later, we were like, we want to do this again. So we kind of rebooted the series. We did it, like, basically a ton of years later, where Genesis came back to life. And the main characters were now Mega Man ZX characters. This was at a point when we were... So yeah, like... No, these are both... Are these both the female characters? I remember this game very well. This was Zero. Oh, that was Vent. Oh, there was a Zero suit. And I loved that game so much. But anyway, we had Vent... And then we actually had Mega Man X in the same storyline. It was very inspired from the Worlds Unite Mega Man Sonic, which was a comic thing they had. It was a comic thing they did. They had Worlds Collide, and then they had Worlds Unite, which had Mega Man X in it, and a bunch of other video game characters from Capcom and Sega. But basically, those guys fought. There was a Sonic Boom character in that. The Sonic Boom comics were good. Anyway, that's off topic. They fought. We have freaking Street Fighter guys here, as you can see. But we didn't have those guys. We just had Mega Man X, Mega Man ZX, and Sonic characters. Basically, came to the ZX universe, along with the rest of the Smash Brothers. And they fought Genesis again. Then everything's kind of hazy from there. I don't remember what we did. But a few years later, we really started getting into it, and we had some pretty good material. We gave Genesis a son. Basically, he created a son out of this other storyline. This is getting kind of drawn out. And it is. We were planning if we were ever going to actually release it or make a story out of it, we'd definitely shorten it. But, freaking, like a long time ago, the people who own the universe were Alpha and Omega. It's not exactly an original idea. But then they actually got in a conflict and they fought, but they were so equally opposed that not one could win over the other. And they were fighting for like 30 million years. And then one day, this dude named Xavier Gates? Not Gates. We still don't have a last name for Genesis. We're not going to use the one from Final Fantasy because then it'd be clear philosophy. But basically, his last name could be Exodus. Because that's the second book of the Bible. And the first one's Genesis. That'd be cool. But, I guess Xavier Exodus just was kind of tired of his current life. He wasn't suicidal. He was just... felt like it had nothing to offer, so he wanted to venture into the fight that just had become like a giant orb, to kind of become a new person. And then Alex, his grandson, Alex, whatever their last name was, followed him, Alex Exodus, followed him as he was stepping in. But when they both stepped in, they caused a disruption that destroyed the entire universe. So it was basically the Big Bang. After the universe came back, Xavier and Alex lived on. Xavier died of old age. Alex found a wife and had a family, which went on to be the new Exodus family, which eventually housed Genesis. But going back to whenever the universe kind of split, it exploded, and it all came into one and exploded again, creating a new universe, bringing only, I didn't explain this, but Xavier and Alex with it, and the two gods, which it's split into two cores, Alpha and Omega cores, which Dr. Wily and frickin' Dr. Wily and whatever, Eggman found. I can't believe I didn't remember his name. Eggham. They found, and this is our storyline, by the way. Just, you probably picked up on that, but I just didn't want to get confused through these. But they found, basically, these cores, and they made robots out of them. So Dr. Wily made Zero. Mega Man was made by, Dr. Light, of course. Now, we're planning to replace these characters with original characters, but we don't really have anyone yet. But after replacing them, the two met once, and of course they started this Super Smash Bros. Team, so we go back. And then one day, Genesis is back, and he's kind of like Sonic Boom Dr. Eggman. He's not a very serious villain. He just kind of goes about doing whatever he wants. But he can be very threatening and lethal at times. The points where, like, not even his closest comrades want to be near him. Like, he's mentally insane. But he basically took Mega Man and Zero's cores because they were, like, the main source of his problems. And they were fighting over human rights and stuff. And then Genesis just came in and took their cores. And then he heard about this new thing called Chorus Creatus. We need a better name for that, too. But it was basically a spell that you could create something out of two cores. And he had heard a story passed down from generations about these two gods and how they split into cores. So we wanted to rebirth something. And that rebirth was Ao, which I don't have a picture of, but I can draw a quick representation of what he needs to look like. I believe my sister was on here earlier. Yeah, she commented that one of my... That's not me, I swear. But, frickin'... He's basically just, like, a pessimistic kind of teenager who's also, like, kind of a god, but he doesn't really know it. He's got long brown hair. He's always got a pessimistic expression. And then he's got... But basically, Genesis created Ao, and then he came to be his own son. They grew kind of close, actually. He was really dumb at first, but eventually he, like, got smarter and smarter, and then just became extremely pessimistic. He's got one black wing, one white wing, because he's, like, the balance of light and evil. But he became extremely pessimistic, and he kind of hated everything. And after creating Ao, a lot of other crap went down. It's kind of hard to remember what happened, but I believe we kind of got rid of SSB. That actually reminds me, we had a whole Undertale subplot, but we don't really talk about that anymore. But we, after that, there were a bit of a blurry concept about what happened, but there was some new guy named Nathan. I should actually have a picture of him, but I don't know where it is. There was this new guy named Nathan. He was, like, Genesis' old friend from a long time ago. And he frickin'... This is a while later. I don't remember what happened in between. But he came in and he started being really evil. Oh my god, I'm forgetting so much because it's so early. But before that, the Universal Police Force called TASPS, which is TASPS, which I believe stands for the Associative Space Protection Service. Wait, TASPS? Yeah, that is what it stands for. Okay. But it's the Associated Space Protection Service, and they had a bunch of... Actually, I think this is straight from Rick and Morty. Yeah, we need to change that name as well. But then they had the Galactic Federation, which came in, and the leader of it, Alexander, basically hid Genesis for reasons I'm not sure if. When we're role-playing, there's some lore about everything that's happening that I don't actually know, and there's some things I had from him that he doesn't know, though. But basically, Alexander Gates... No, I keep using that last name. Alexander Gears? I want to say it's Gears, but I'm not actually sure. Anyway, he basically hates Genesis, and they start fighting. Genesis gains his own team of warriors with this guy named Jacob. Oh, is it Star Ocean? Wait. No, it's Star Ocean. Yeah. Basically, this guy named Jacob, just imagine AO from before, but with a bow. He looks pretty much the exact same. But this guy named Jacob joins, and there's another fake Jacob. There's his brother named Justin. An entire subplot. We have that, and then he falls in love with Carol from Freedom Planet simply because I was running out of character ideas. This is what she looks like. This is what canon looks like. Basically, he falls in love with her, and then it's not bestiality. I don't freaking know. But then there's a thing with Ray the Flying Squirrel and Mighty and Ray, which were some of my favorite characters before they were in Sonic Mania, and now everyone's making fan art of them. But I loved them before they were in Sonic Mania. This person knows what up. This is their Sonic Comics. Freaking. Their Sonic Comics look. So these people know what they're doing. Oh my god, it's so great to see dedicated artists actually drawing some of my favorite characters now that they've been recognized. I knew these guys before they were like freaking in Sonic Mania. But these guys come in, and then Ray and Carol have a thing, and then they break up or something. I don't know. It had an entire convoluted romance subplot that I'm not really sure why I implemented. Should really just stay away from all that. Probably because I'm very lonely in my love life. But basically, they went on, Jacob and Carol, and then he joined the group. We had these guys join the group. We didn't really have that much more people join the group. But actually, I wonder if somebody has made Sonic Boom adaptations. They have. Kind of. You just gotta change the characters a little bit. Oh, that's Wreck-It Ralph right there. Oh, that's freaking awesome, because this person freaking knows what they're doing, because this is Mighty's sister. Not even, like, anybody knows about that character unless you read the comics. Which, if you do, you're, like, the best. How have I not seen these? I mean, I read, like, all the Sonic comics. And, of course, this is a classic. That's a classic right there. I'm off topic. Freaking... Then they go on. Aiden is a villain or something. Alexander and Genesis have to team up to stop him. But then there's an even greater threat, which is Vanessa, and they try to kill her. Then she doesn't die. Then they try to kill her again, and then she doesn't die. Then they try to kill her again, and she's still not dead, I don't think. I don't know what's going on with the storyline currently. But basically, they get trapped in these rooms by Vanessa, and then they have to do challenges by getting compatibility with each other. And this is pretty much where Jake comes in. This is pretty much where Jake comes in, and he kind of shows up new to the scene. He has a little backstory. Oh my god, I was just supposed to be explaining Jake's backstory, and then I had to explain this entire storyline for it to kind of make sense. And then I have to explain more because I just remembered. Before, Griffin, as I want to call him now, or Mega Man, became evil because the rest of his team kind of forgot about him. And when he became evil, who's the cat? I'm not on my account. Okay, that looks awesome, but I can't watch it right now because I'm making a video. But basically, Mega Man goes crazy. He's evil, and because of that, he freaking gets all the Chaos Emeralds, which were canon. We still kept the Sonic storyline kind of canon because we really love it still. But then they fought, and they wait, no, Mega Man got all the Chaos Emeralds. Everyone fought, and there was a bit of a part where he took the Chaos Emeralds, and he got so powerful that he just disappeared. And it's like, oh, he's dead. Well, frick. And then he actually became soul form, which meant he was in the spiritual realm, which meant he could go into people's brains if they were not prepared or enough, like, freaking mind power. I don't know. I really, this is kind of patchy. But in Jake's world, he's an insomniac because of Mega Man, who is basically trying to take over his brain. But because of his brother Colin, he kind of put a protection on them from that kind of stuff, which was another storyline. It's a long story. I actually need to be showing Jake here. But that's Jake right there. He just imagine Colin is a shorter version with him of him with the red shirt. And then they had protection against, like, spirits and stuff. And then in comes Alyssa, who's just Jake's new girlfriend. She's like, doesn't have a home or something, and then Jake's like, oh yeah, I can take you in. And it's just, I mean, I imagine it all cool in my head where he was like really sleepy and he couldn't see that well. And then Alyssa was like, I mean, you don't have to. It's fine. And then he, like, rubs his eyes and he opens them, and then he realizes how beautiful Alyssa is. It's an entire thing. It is pretty cool in my head, but I actually have to animate it if I wanted to show it off. But when they did it, he bring her in, got mad at Colin got mad at him, and then they kind of made up. And then there was a thing where they made up, and then Jake and Vanessa, not Vanessa, that's another villain, but no, Jake and Alyssa's relationship grew more, and then they were, like, actually just full-on boyfriend and girlfriend. Then one day, Jake has to actually go deal with something serious, which I have to decide what it is, but he goes and he has to deal with this. And when he comes back, it's like everything's dark, and he this is gonna sound like really spoilery if I actually make an animation of this. So if you don't want spoilers for what is maybe to come, but it'll probably be in like a year or something, so you may forget it, but there's gonna be some big spoilers in a few seconds. He walks in the door and he sees Colin's clawed to death body. And this was a really dark turn when I was writing it. And I was like, what am I even doing? But I had a reason for all of it. So Colin's dead. It takes dark turns so fast. Even though with Jake having to deal with something serious on another place, it was already supposed to be turning kind of darker. So it was more of a smooth transition. But Colin's dead. That's pretty much it. I most likely would bring him back somewhere else. But he's dead for the most part right now. So he walks through this place, and he's scared to death in his house. And then here comes Alyssa, and she's alive with this crazy look in her eyes, and her claws are completely outstretched. And Jake actually has this laser gun, which he got from what he was dealing with seriously. And he has to fight her. This is all sounding extremely stupid, but this is going to be a lot more explained if I post it on my website or on Wattpad or something. And it's going to sound a lot better. It's 7 in the morning. I thought this would be a funny challenge for me to try to explain a storyline at 7 in the morning. This video is like 30 minutes long. But he has to go, and he shoots her. He can't talk any sense into her whatsoever. And when he shoots her, her eyes instantly fade and go back to what they were supposed to be. And later, on a real storyline, on the other storyline, he runs. He does not want to be caught for this, and he's very sad about it too. So he just runs for his life. And he runs into this battle where Nathan is fighting Genesis. And then Genesis goes away, and Nathan basically captures Jake and makes him his torture victim. There's an entire long storyline. He makes Jake go on missions, kill people he doesn't want to, do all this stuff. And then eventually Nathan does something unlike him because he's mentally insane. He just lets Jake go. He's like, you've been good, you can go. So Jake let's go. He is released. Later, Mega Man actually comes back through the form of a new character called Simon, who is actually just a serious character now, because Mega Man was just inside of him. Mega Man comes back in an old robot body of his, because he breaks out of a lab. It was really epic scene we roleplayed, but it's hard to explain at 7 in the morning. So then he comes out, and then he does this thing with the rest of the Chaos Emerald, and he fights all of them, and he's making jokes about who he's possessed. And he tells Jake specifically that he possessed his stupid girlfriend and killed his stupid pet, which is supposed to be his brother. And he says something else racist if anthros were real. Actually, it'd be like speciesist about Jake being a pet. We did that, but I can't remember anything. And then they fight, but like the entire cast fights, and he tries to make a last stand by killing everyone by exploding. But a bunch of TAP soldiers die, but most of the main characters have like left by then. So there's not much to go on. So he's dead. He is brought back through another IC chip, except he doesn't remember half of the things, so he's not as evil anymore. He doesn't remember most of his past. He goes out, and he does this thing where he's just normal Mega Man for a while, but nobody kind of accepts him as he is, until eventually he's put back into the Super Smash Brothers, except Zero still hates him, like, indefinitely hates him. Then there's this one last thing with Vanessa, where Jake and Nathan have to team up, and it's kind of funny, actually, because they hate each other. But it's an entire thing. That's pretty much it, though. After that, after Vanessa, we had another short segment where everyone said goodbye to each other. Mega Man and Zero had a quiet rude goodbye. But that's where we left off. We haven't really gone anywhere in the story from that. So I was trying to explain Jake's story, and then I just explained like a bunch of my character stories. So yeah, thank you for watching this really weird video. Don't expect anything good from it. So like, bye. Oh, frickin' no. Gonna look unprofessional. Why is OBS not loading? Please have been recording. If you have been, I will be frickin' angered. I want to see if I can click one of the buttons there, but I'm afraid I'll click start streaming. And I have it like actually set up to my Twitch account. So that would like start streaming on Twitch. Can I just do it from here? Oh, there we go, I did it.